we'll begin today sitting with a little bit of height. We have a ball. Any small object would do. But if you'll bring your hands together in a prayer position and just bear down, then you'll find the rebound energy, right? The awareness of sitting with a little bit of extension. The legs turn on. The inner awareness calls us to breath. And while you keep your hands with the ball, as they react to the ball, turn the palms up. And whether you choose to rest your hands there or to bear into the ball, draw the shoulder blades down and back, lengthen through the back of the neck. And just breathe. As you turn the palms down, allow your hands a slight pushing down and forward, dropping the heels of your hands. Notice the reaction in the shoulders and in the rib cage. Roll the ball slightly forward so your hands have the opportunity to pull back, fingertips pull back. And again, the effect of leverage on rib cage and breath. Taking the time now to bring the hands back to the original position. Bear slightly in. Sit at your tallest spine. And invite what might unfold that our awareness guides. Let us begin. All right. So we'll start first with the other leg in front. Other leg in front. And we'll park one hand at the ball, take the other arm behind us. And at first it is just a bearing down. And as you bear down, something familiar, we're going to bear down and we're going to tug against so that we affect a little bit more rotation. And this comes in a really easy way just because of the shape of the ball, but it comes in a tricky way as well because of the shape of the ball. We'll come back to the side. We'll change the angle before we give it away. We'll release the back hand, keep the rotation, and then roll forward, reach into the back arm, reach into the front arm, and staying here, come around. Reach both arms forward and just notice the difference. And inhale, come on up. Let's switch. I want to start in this upright position, create a little bit of rotation, and bear down. I'm going to adjust the air. I didn't think we'd need it, but we need it. So as you use the ball against the sticky mat, against the surface of the floor, just notice, it is set on cool, thankfully. And now that should help, it should turn on. And then if you will, releasing the back hand and folding forward. Swinging that back arm around, bearing down, and coming up. Both legs long and wide when you're ready. And we'll start with the ball to the outside. And we'll do something that might come intuitively first, and that's to go straight out to the side, and we'll change it. And so notice first anchoring the sitting bones. When you're ready for change, bring the ball against the leg and press against the leg to help yourself into any amount of rotation. And then follow the line of the leg with the ball and come into any amount of fold. Yes. And inhale and return. Same idea. We're traveling to the side. And then working our way down a different line. Resistance first, and then a fold, and then continued use of all those relationships, anchoring both sitting bones. And inhale and return. We're going to give a little attention now to the lower body, and we'll start by parking the ball under the heel. And we'll go through external rotation. You can move the ball in any amount and bear down. Taking your time, take the ball to the side, internal rotation, bearing down. So if you know yourself that you like to stay longer in a certain place, you want to change the angle. And then notice the reaction of the other leg, right? We could make the other leg lighter. We could lift it. Yep. More core work. And then switch, ease into it, ease into it. I want to start with external rotation and internal rotation. And I find that my other leg wants to imitate. So here we go. Bearing down. Excellent. Even lifting the other leg. What is it like on this side? And are our hands light or heavy? All these things we can notice. All right, and release. So we'll use the blanket. We'll come to our shins and we'll begin more twisting. So whether or not you aim, we typically aim to place the shins on the blanket and really use the entire surface. And in some practices, they plant the toes, and so they're more on the knee. And if that is your preference, I really like using the surface to disperse the weight. And we're going to take the ball, do something simple to begin. I want to squeeze and then rotate just so that I notice that one side of the rib cage is on a little bit more. And with that in mind, I'm going to drop back. And then I'm going to add rotation. And while we're over here, we're going to lower and lift. So all these different ways that we can tug away, tease away some tightness, and create some strengthening patterns. Wonderful. Come back to center. In the other direction. Pause here. Feel what's on. And then come into this lean. The shins press back. I'm reminding myself as well. And then adding rotation. And then adding movement so the stabilizers turn on. Wonderful. As you come back to center, rotate the fingertips so that you have this almost prayer position. And come on and lean back. Take the arms forward and up. Give yourself that line. And then lower and lift. Just notice if you were to lift a little bit more, what is that like? Where's the load? And anywhere in that lift, we're going to add rotation. So while you're here this time, these balls, we didn't fill them up to their capacity. We can take one back behind and park it and take the front arm and reach and use the ball against the heel, against the floor, against the sole of the foot, any of that. But think about where your hip point stayed, how the upper body is managing the rotation, and how the shins define the actions. Inhale, slowly come back up. Same idea, please. We're dropping back, reaching forward and up, and then lowering and lifting. So this is a tricky way to just buy us a little bit more time over here. Come back up, drop back down, give yourself a break, turn. Notice the amount of rotation where you want to put the ball, come into those two long lines. The foundation makes a difference. Looking good, everybody. All right, we'll come back to something similar. As you come to center, we're going to place one hand at the floor, at the ball. The other one gives us an asymmetrical kind of opportunity. So we're going to take the hand that has the ball and just simply bear in and tip a little bit. Just notice if I were to come into a push-up style position. The leg opposite the ball is going back. And we can continue this tipping action with or without lifting the back leg so that we have the challenge of what could work towards stability, providing it. Yep. When you're ready for change, that long leg goes to the side and the ball goes opposite, and we're going to bear down. And today we're just going to slide the long leg along the floor. It's going to graze the floor. It's going back to its destination and then all the way out to the side. What I want you to focus on is the ease with rotation. We're going from internal rotation to external rotation. We're going to play with that one more time. So as you take the leg back this time, the hand with the ball goes ahead and we're bearing down. I know typically we lift the arm, but this is the opportunity today. And so we'll try a little bit more just because the relationships change. Out to the side and back. Very nice. Inhale, come on up. Hold on to the ball. Rotate the fingertips in. Rotate the fingertips forward. Let's just do that one more time. I'm giving us a chance to have a break for our head from where we were. Okay, so we know what to do now. We're going to check out and notice where should we place our hands so that we can count on, hey, this little bit of coming and going, and then the other leg back behind. Whether or not you want to lift the back leg as you come into this push-up style movement, a few repetitions, the entire body moves as a unit, and then we'll take that long leg to the side, iron out our space, take the arm opposite, bear in and begin to really work that long leg, its movement pattern. Yep. And you're welcome to ignore me if your way is to want to lift the leg and go between those movements, all great. And we're going to try it again with the arm ahead, bearing down, bearing down. So all these angles that support resilience and weight bearing, and then some. Wonderful. One more. As you make your way up, we'll come into a little preparation for gait. And that means we're going to place one leg to the side. If what you prefer to do is stay with your mat, then if you like the sticky mat, I want you to be able to choose whether you're aiming the sole of the foot to the floor or somewhere in between. We'll take the arms up, we'll hold on to the ball, and the idea is this side bend. So this is not a side fold, it is a side bend. Exactly. But we're adding tension. So while you hold the ball and while you squeeze, while the hip points stay, we're all going to be working on that. We're going to rotate toward the floor and keep reaching, keep reaching. And then inhale and come on back. Open up and look up. Nice. And inhale and come on up. Take the time and switch. We know where we're going now. Other side. Yes. And so as you align, as you lift, as you choose, where is that foot? Where is it going? Squeeze and come on into your side bend. And every once in a while, my mind has to go back to my foundation. The shin presses back. It does make a difference. And then add rotation, squeezing, reaching, breathing. And inhale and come on back. So we'll change it up now. We'll switch legs again. This time we're planting that foot to the side. And we'll start with that same preparation. We're backing off, and then we're going to use this to do more. Just where getting everything primed. So again, we're traveling toward that bit, and just notice your stability, but also notice what is more willing to give, right? And then as you exhale, rotate and keep reaching in that direction. Before you give this away, pull your legs toward each other. And inhale and come back, look up. Come into your back body. Inhale, come upright. Keep your legs as they are. We're going to give away the ball momentarily and come and place our hands at the floor. So we're going to put a couple things together. And while your hands bury you, if you will, straighten the back leg and notice if rotating to the side is a little bit more manageable from this position. So putting both hands down before we take that one away, right? This is a variation on side plank. Focus on lifting through the side ribs. We were just inviting all of that great action and come around and down. We're going to come back to this, pivot off the back foot, take your time and switch. And we are arriving on the other side in that same shape. Legs pull toward each other. Here we go. Coming into our side bend, noticing the extra give, the willingness, the range. Yeah. And again, please turn and rotate. Look down, keep reaching up. And again, please, coming more into your back body is where we're going with this, right? And as you inhale, keeping the length through that side. As we find our way to side plank with this variation, I'm straightening the back leg, turning the back foot out, lifting the arm, and making it a point to pull the legs toward each other, lift the side of the ribcage. One more breath. As you exhale, come around and down, then pivot the back leg. All right, so we'll give ourselves a chance to take on one more round of side plank. And I'm going to move my mat to the side. You are welcome to, at any time in side plank, work from one shin at the floor. So what that looks like is this, yeah? And if you are thinking to do more, I'm going to encourage that you rotate your feet to the side and work from feet slightly away from each other. Yep. Lifting the side ribs, turning the head to look up. And if by chance you have both legs straight on your way returning, I'm going to encourage that everyone drop the inside knee and come around and down. So we'll come back yet one more time, and we'll put a few things together from our standing work toward the end of class. But here we go, other side. However you wish to get there to even it up. Nice. Beautiful. Length and strength. Exhale, dropping the inside knee. Continue the exhale, find your plank. Take your time and walk your hands back towards your feet. As you get there, push away the floor and sit and stand. Wonderful. And we'll continue on. So we'll move the blanket aside. And if you decide standing near the wall or a chair or a bar might be useful, now would be the time. We're going to hold the ball. We're going to keep the ball underneath one leg. Right. And so as we extend the leg, we're bearing down. When we took away the floor. Right. And as we have the heel into the ball, we're coming into a fold. Inhale and come on up. Take the arms wide. Use a focal point. Come again. Take the arms ahead. Swing them down and back. Clasp them together. Inhale, come upright. Bend in that knee, pull the ball in and bear down. As you bear down into it, lift the sternum. And release. We'll keep coming back. So these are familiar shapes. We might not get as far as we typically do because of how we have different holding patterns now. So here we go. We're bearing down. And arms wherever you wish them to be, but come into your fold. Notice what's familiar. Appreciate what's new, right? It's a little bit humbling. Inhale, come upright. So that first pass helps us to know how to adjust, right? Here we go. Exhaling, fold. Continue the exhale, reach forward. The core muscles continue to adjust along, responding to where the limbs are going. Inhale, come upright. Bend in the knee, bear down, lift your gaze. And release. The blocks in front of you, one low and one tall. And you can ignore the work with the ball and put your hands at the block as we work into powerful pose, as we work into warrior 3 and then some. All right. So at first, the idea is to send the arms ahead and plant one foot and just come into a little bit of this tipping action. Notice your distance from the blocks, what is typical to you, and lift the back leg any amount. Come into your fold any amount. At first, we're going to take the ball around the body clockwise. So I'm going to take the arms back, pass the ball in a clockwise fashion, bring it around to the front, and then repeat going in a counterclockwise position. As you hold the ball with both hands in front, bend in the standing knee, come into your warrior 1, enjoy where you are, and keeping your gaze lifted, squeezing the ball lower and lift. Right? We're just changing what our core muscles are being asked to do. As you lower this time, consider lifting the back heel. As you lift, make your choice whether you're going to stay with all the toes pointing forward or if you like to anchor the back heel. And as you come back to center, bring the hands in. We were here before. We're adding rotation, turning in the direction of the front leg. Right? My left leg is in front. I'm turning to the left. Excellent. Stay one more breath. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, come and fold. Return one more time. And then, if you will, lower the legs, lower the arms. Simple return to stability. All right, we're challenging that. Here we go. Arms ahead. Come and fold. And again, at any time, you could put the ball down, put your hands at the blocks. We're going to get to them soon enough. But as you make your way into your Warrior 3 challenge today, counterclockwise. And then clockwise. Bending in the standing knee, coming into this warrior 1, squeezing the ball, adding a little bit of movement with the arms just to discern where we're at, what we can do with a personal challenge. I want to lift the back heel and turn all the toes forward. Is that the place? Bending in the elbows, come and twist. Any amount. Charge the back leg regardless. Inhale, come back to center. Come and fold, or just returning slowly in the reverse, lowering the arms, lowering the leg. Nice. So we'll put the ball down. We'll trade out for the blocks as an option. And as you come a little bit closer, I want you just to notice your powerful pose, right? Utkatasana, simple enough. And then one leg. Right? Bring your hands to the blocks. And whether you know yourself already that you want to turn them lower because you count on them more, the idea here is just leaning in. So put your hands down, lift the heel of the standing leg, lean in any amount. And as you continue with several passes, if your body allows you this coming lower, keep turning the blocks. Keep leaning in, picking up the back heel, noticing how the shin can rest against the elbows, pulling the toes against the elbow, any or all of that. And once you've given yourself to it, come unfolding. Take your feet somewhat wide. Drop back into a seat. And with or without your blocks, lift your heels. And then with or without your blocks, challenge yourself to this deeper sitting position. And then with or without your blocks, to dropping the heels if that is for you. I realize that's not for everyone, but we'll find our way in it. All right, notice the position of your feet, how much they're turned out. Try not to over exaggerate that. Find a happy medium. And then very simply put your hands down and straighten the legs and come into a fold. Bring your feet more into a parallel position. And we are aiming to not lean back, but to hanging the head, looking up to the belly. It's very quieting, very grounding. As you inhale to make your way to standing, let your hands press into the shins, come into this half a fold. And then remind yourself that when we come into this Utkatasana powerful pose, whether our feet are wide or whether they're more underneath us, we are aiming to sit back. We're aiming to sit back. All right, and inhale and come back up. All right, wonderful. So we're ready to go. We know where we're going now. Other side. I want to bring ankle to the knee. I know the proximity of these blocks. And use what you've got. The power within you, the support around you. If we were to choose nothing more than to put our hands at the blocks and just kind of come and go and lean, it would be great all by itself. And so we're using a pigeon style shape, right? This figure 4 kind of shape. And we all understand ourselves that each side is very different, can be very different. Mm-hmm. Once you've had enough, once you've evened it up, bring your block one between your feet, one between your thighs. Return to that sitting position. And even from this sitting position, imagine that you're trying to send this block that's between the thighs, you're trying to roll it back. So it helps us to remember, oh yeah, we are sitting back. Take the time and come on up. Take the arms behind you, lift your gaze. Root the inner heels and lift the arches of the feet. We are still thinking to send the block back. This happens in the standing leg in warrior 3, in the front leg in warrior 1, in downward and upward facing dog, in so many positions, so many poses and places. Before we give it away, I want to add a cue to it that we've heard before, but we could stand to grow with a little bit more. So we get that we're trying to send the inner thighs back, but we are also trying to send the outer thighs as if we could wrap them back. And so once you put that into play, it really helps us with this shape because it helps us to understand that we're sending ourselves forward into our front body. One more breath. And release. So the work that we've done with the block, the work that we've done with the ball, the stability and the mobility we kept playing with, we're going to put them into play using our strap and perhaps our blocks in side angle pose today. So I moved my blocks to one end of my mat. I'm going to stay there and check out how the strap, as I step my feet apart and turn the front leg out and bending in the front knee, are really going to help opening in the front body. So I'm going to take the strap behind. And typically in side angle pose, where we have been in the recent past is to use the block on the inside, sometimes on the outside, with different arm positions. And today, we're going to challenge that shoulder opening. So if I were to take the strap behind me, I could keep things simple. I could come on down and catch hold of the strap and think, I'm going to work from here. I'm not going to aim terribly low. I'm going to get the hang of what I'm asking for. And this is great. But this is your practice. So as you come into this side fold, dropping that arm any amount and aiming to catch the hands behind you. And if what you find happening is that, just to get there, you're sending the pelvis back, then you all know to coil the hip under and turn the rib cage toward the ceiling. If you're able to hook 3 fingers, you can ignore the strap, turn your gaze up, resist the arm to the leg below you, firm the legs, and keep coming into your back body here. Keep coming into the back body. So I'm trying to hook along the outside of the thigh. Yeah? Wonderful. We're going to hold this position. So if you're just getting there, hold on to it. But as you're ready to release from it, we're going to put our hand at the block that's on the inside. And we're going to take the top hand and keep it at the hip and drop the elbow back. Turn your head toward the ceiling. Turn the rib cage. We had great work in our warm-up already to get us ready for this. We did gate pose and side plank, not to mention the warm-up with the ball and the fold and twist. All right, wonderful. We're going to take a break and we'll come back. Bring both arms around and pivot off the back foot just so that we square the pelvis with the floor. If you will, please pull the legs toward each other, toward each other. We're going to open up again in the same direction, and then we're going to go the other way. Yeah? All right, so here we go. Turning the back leg out. This time, the hand stays at the block that's on the outside of the leg. Just take mine out of the way. And here, I want you just to choose for yourself. Where are you taking that top arm? Where are you going with it so that you make this your own? Regardless, coiling the hip under, turning the rib cage toward the ceiling, resisting the arm and the leg below you, and pulling the legs toward each other. They give freedom to the rib cage. Very nice. Let's stay one more breath. As you exhale, come around and down. As you inhale, pivot off the back foot. And we're going to turn in the other direction. So I want us to decide where we are with the block that's underneath the hand that's staying. Yeah. So if your right leg is in front, you're taking the right arm either behind you, out to the side, overhead. And the left arm would be the one that's tugging at the block, at the floor. Some of you may not need the block, right? We're all in different places. All in different places. The legs pull toward each other. They give a mobility to the rib cage, expansion. One more breath. Beautiful. Take the time. Come on back. Here's our transition. We'll turn the back foot out and we'll walk our blocks in. And so this becomes a little bit of a down dog and a little bit of a plank. And as we walk our feet over to the other side, we can revolve. As we walk our blocks over to the other side, we can revolve and we can keep this angle and push the floor with our hands, with our feet. Before we repeat all of that on the other side, we're going to keep playing with this notion of side to side. So I'm going to get the blocks to help me, and I'm going to do something very simple at first. I'm just going to lean side to side. All right. What I want you to do with that is, as you come to one side, think to lift the heel. Walk over to the other side and lift the heel. We're going to keep alternating. I'm going to walk over to the other side, lift the heel, and while I'm over here and my hands are with the block, I'm going to turn the other leg out and just kind of notice coming lower and coming more upright in my body. Those are options, ideas. The blocks are here to help. I'm going to come up and over. And we could keep it simple. I just want to lift the heel, but if you can turn the other foot up and just notice the ease of getting to this position. We're going to do this one more time. Here we go. As you come up and over, as this is your practice and you make your choice, we're going to back off to ask for more, just getting our back ready for more. And so if you're low, park your knee so that you can be in this upright position and give your hands a break from holding you so that your back will hold you instead. It's an idea. All right, wonderful. Up and over to the other side. Regardless of where you are, the idea is to stay in an upright position and hold yourself with this hip opening. It can come in many ways. We're all in different places. All right, lovely. Here we go. I want to turn the other foot out. Practice side angle pose over here with the strap, with that shoulder opening. I'm going to take the strap behind me. And again, it would be simple and great and effective to stay more upright and resist tugging at the strap. If your place is to come on in and aim a little bit closer, find what that could be. If you're hooking 3 fingers and keeping that hip underneath you, then just let go of the strap. Keep turning, keep finding all the ways you are strong and steady. We'll stay one more breath. Nice. As you're ready for change, put the hand at the block on the inside. Put your other hand at the hip and bank on what you've been doing. Turn any amount more. Reach into the long leg. Feel that increment of change. And as you rotate toward the floor, as you put both hands at the block and pivot off the back foot, we're pulling the legs toward each other. And then turning back to where we had been. The hand at the block is on the outside now, and we'll make it a point to come into any amount of side angle pose, the variation that makes you happy. So we backed off, we opened again, and now we're going the other way. When you are ready, exhale, come around and down. Think about where your feet are so that lifting the back heel will allow you more rotation. How low is the hand at the block that is staying? Where is the other arm going to? Where are you challenging yourself? And as you arrive, the legs pull toward each other. One more breath. And release. We're going to make our way to the floor then, with or without the blocks. And to plank, to downward facing dog. Notice the length through the torso after all that we've done. We're going to keep it while we bend in the knees and swivel to one side and take this deep squat. We had something similar from standing. We had Utkatasana, powerful pose. Here we're adding a twist to the other side. Inhale and come back to center. So now I'm going to make it to the floor gently, nothing fancy. And come in, sit, just like this. We'll come back to using the ball. And we're giving ourselves a place to be with symmetry, with grounding. Yep. We'll go back to the idea of extension, maintaining some length through the torso. One leg is going to stay, the other leg turns out. That back leg that turns out, we want to pull it in more to a hero leg. And we're going to use the ball to, again, fold and twist. So I'm moving away from my feet. If you turn to the right, put your right hand down, and vice versa, and then come and go. Reach, bear down. And with each pass, the idea is to roll the ball a little bit further. I'm going to encourage that if you want a little bit more, that you keep walking yourself a little further around so that you change the angle of the rotation. We did this in our warm-up when we were tipping forward. The idea was a little bit of a push-up position with the ball underneath one hand. Connecting the dots. All right, we know where we're going now. Come to center. Park your ball between your feet. Hold on. Sit tall. And this does help. The release of the inner thighs is going to help us with rotation. So here we go. I want to turn, and as I turn, as I pull that foot in, the idea is to embrace that we're on the outer thigh. We are not at the sitting bone, and I'm trying to pull the sitting bones toward each other. Okay, so here we go. Coming and going. You could keep this. You could add more rotation. One more. Beautiful. So as we come out of the twist, we want to maintain some length in the torso. We're going to put the ball behind us and rest our shoulder blades on. The hands are going to catch the head, the back of the neck laced, and we've been here before. The idea is traction for the neck. With each pass that you drop back, we have a supported rib cage, and we're just focused on the mobility that we're inviting. Exhale and curl up. To keep adding variety, consider bringing your elbows toward each other, parallel to each other, and use the forearms, not just the hands, to traction and drop back. Notice how this is very similar to where your arms are typically placed in dolphin, in headstand, in peacock pose, especially as we drop back, that becomes our peacock pose, right? The floor would be underneath the forearms. We'll try that one more time. So again, the idea is variety. I'm going to plant my feet and take the elbows wide. And this time, I want to bring one shin so that it is parallel to the floor. And the resolve is to keep the elbows wide. And I want to rotate and aim the elbow toward that knee. I'm turning the entire upper body and then coming back. So it becomes more of an isolating, right? Oblique isolating. All right. So if you're really happy with the idea of getting closer, you're welcome to do that. That means the leg would do the work and the elbow would do the work. But if you can hold it here nice and wide, you might get a little bit more out of it. And then slowly come on down. We know where we're going now. Here comes the shin. And we're turning the upper body, elbows wide. Nice to have the support. Take your time. When you're done, curl up and sit. Make this adjustment, please. We're adding the blanket underneath the pelvis. It doesn't matter how thick it is, how dense it is, how much you folded it. And then come and rest. As you rest, park the ball underneath the rib cage and prop up. So the hand in front is going to slide forward, and the idea is to rock the entire upper body and just to kind of lean in, lean in. If you know yourself that, taking on this side bend, and here, come on back, we're going to add on. But if you find that you're able to tolerate resting your head at the block, then as you lean in, you can bring the temple toward the floor. And as you inhale and come back up, bring your elbow in and think about the rotation in the other direction. Reach back with the arm, look back with your head, reach the top knee forward so you're not dropping the pelvis. We're going to just do that one more time. So exhale and come on in. Decide how far you're going, where your head is going. And before you give this away, take the arm straight up toward the ceiling and then take it overhead, because over time we'll work way over here in the side bend. Nice. All right, let's do all of that on the other side. We have in between things to do, but we want to even up. So the first thing is to find where to place this ball. And then take on that first pass. Just check it out. And then the position of the head that you really want. And come again. Lean and rotate. And take the arm up and back. Reach the top knee forward. Come again. Our next destination is to roll onto our back and to place the ball between our feet. So if you know yourself that you prefer having the blanket under your head, please do what you need. But as you take the ball to between the ankles, take the arms wide or overhead, and we're going to make it so that one foot is on top, and we're going to lower a little bit and lift, keeping the rib cage far away from the sitting bones. Means a long set of core muscles. And then slowly switch. Park the ball between the knees. Plant your feet. Take the arms wide. And come into your bridge. Take the arms high. Whether your hands are at the floor or not, as you drop the pelvis, one vertebra at a time, we're trying to lengthen the torso and reach the arms further away from the sitting bones, returning to neutral spine. Yeah. So we'll try that one more time. I want to tuck the pelvis and print the spine, come up slowly, keep the arms reaching, invite length into the back of the neck, and then keep reaching away as you come down. And take the arms wide. Bring the knees in. Rock the knees to one elbow and then to the other. As you plant your feet, shift the pelvis to the left. Bring the knees in. Drop them any amount to the right. Whether you look up or look opposite your knees, think about the left leg, and if you can extend it, extend it. Exactly. Shoulder blades at the floor. Take the time, come on in. Inhale, come to center. Exhale in the other direction. The idea is to shift the pelvis to the right. Bring the knees to the chest. Rock to the left. Any amount. Extend the right leg. And slowly return. If you liked either of those variations, please repeat them. If you're ready to do a little bit more, park the ball between your ankles. Shift the pelvis to the left. Bring the knees in and take them to the right, and decide for yourself about extending the legs. Bend the knees. Extend the legs. Bend the knees. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, rest. Shift to the right. Knees to the chest. Rock to the left. And play with that a little bit. Any amount of extension. All right. So now, as you come to center, make any micro adjustment you need, and come and rest. When you're ready, bring your knees to your chest and roll to one side. Press up and sit. Bring your hands to your heart. Feel that you are alive. Right? May this feeling of being open continue into your day. Namaste.